Tell us about your background in Kung Fu.
My background can be, I guess, started when my father had always wanted to learn martial arts. He always wanted to learn Kung Fu, especially because he had seen a lot of Bruce Lee movies. But he came from a family of 12, so he didn't really have that opportunity. He was, his family wasn't well off. And so when I was born, I had a lot of complications at birth, and I was pretty much going to be a weak child throughout my entire life. So my father said the best thing would be to start martial arts. And sure enough, there was a martial arts school behind the house that we moved into in summer of '97, and that's when I started. And I started training, and I trained for a long time, and I got my advanced level sash when I was at a pretty young age, and since then I had trained for a while, and I've had the opportunity to train with other masters as well, other grandmasters, other wushu coaches, I've taken seminars in Wing Chun, I've taken seminars in kickboxing, I've taken a lot of seminars, and now I have my own martial arts school, and I thank my father for that. And even after martial arts practice, he'd be training me. I'd go to martial arts practice for maybe once or 2 hours a day, and then I'd come home and he'd have me on the bag. And even when I was a kid, and I was 7 or 8 years old, and he'd have me watching cartoons, and I'd be in a horse stance or I'd be in a split, and he trained me pretty hard. And I think my Kung Fu journey that I'm on to him. I give all the thanks to him. That's my background in Kung Fu, and it started because of him.
We're expected to be weak your entire life. How do martial arts change that?
Well, of course, in Kung Fu, there's what's called iron body training. So that, of course, helps with my low bone density. That helps strengthen my bones. And my weak muscles that I was expected to have, of course, the low stances. My instructor highly emphasized low stances in the previous martial arts school I was in, that I attended. And that really strengthened my body mechanics. And what we did what was called an obstacle course, and that helped with we did what's called bear crawls and army crawls, and a lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups, a lot of body mechanics drills that helped with what was expected to be a weak life.
My name's Yvonne Foreman. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist, which means that I work with children. And I've been asked, how does martial arts help improve children who need to work on brain processing? And I often recommend martial arts for children who need to work on brain processing because it helps them with core strengthening, with processing their environment, to move, for balance, for coordination, for remembering a series of movements and to reproduce them. It helps with attention, memory to recite things that they need to recite, following instructions, and so much more. So it helps a variety of children with attention deficit disorder, whether hyper or not hyper, children with autism, children with dyslexia, so much more. So martial arts is really great and improves the brain and how it interacts with the environment.
So I understand you've had a student with autism. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, my first student came to me when I had been teaching for about my first year, when I had just started teaching martial arts. And the way I used to teach was by saying run, jump, kick, punch, and very mean. That's the way my instructor taught me, so I would teach them the same way. But when my student with autism came to me, I had to learn a totally different way, because I couldn't just yell at him. He'd start to cry, he'd start throwing fits, he'd yell, he'd scream. So I had to change my teaching perspective a little bit. And what I noticed was he would come home, he would come from his house to the martial arts school, singing commercials, like singing songs on commercials, memorizing statistics that were kind of like a song. So I kind of changed the forms and kind of changed fighting drills to fit that. And so I would say, kind of like the hokey pokey to fit with fighting positions, with fighting drills.